What is up, everybody? This is BFS Live. I think this is episode 97 at this point. We are doing a show here with Josh from the Skate Barn. He's going to be joining us the show in a few minutes. He's currently in a management role in one of the longest running skate parks in the whole country. They're down in the Carolinas. They've been open for 28 years. So when we get Josh here in on the show, we're going to be talking about the whole story of their skate park down there in North Carolina. And we're going to kind of do this, talk about my skate park, talk about their skate park. There's not a lot of skate parks out there. To have a facility that's been open for 28 years is really, really impressive. So when he gets in here, we'll get the show going. As far as everyone else there, thank you for joining the show. Feel free to ask questions. You can grab, if you want to support the skate park, you can join us on Patreon, which you can get in the link in the bio on our Instagram page here. Summer months are very challenging for indoor skate parks. So, joining us on Patreon, $5 a month goes a really long way, $10 a month. There's a bunch of different tiers where you can support the skate park. And for sure, we're going to be talking about what it's like to support the skate park. So I see Skate Barn is now in the chat. They just got a request to join the show, and we'll get the story, get the show going, get the story going. Let's see if I can get him going here. How does this work? Black, add as a mono unfollower. So he's going to have to request to join, I think is how this is going to work. View request. All right. Accept. All right. Here we go.
Yo, what's up, man?
All right, we're here. We have someone in the live chat who just said they were just at Skate Barn.
Man,
so, good for them.
Thank you guys so much for going out and supporting. We appreciate it.
Awesome. This is Josh. He's in a management role at the Skate Barn down there, and then where's this?
Hampstead, North Carolina.
Yep.
It's about 30 minutes north of Wilmington.
Okay, so that's pretty far up there.
Yeah.
So first of all, get this going. Just why don't you give us the kind of the bio, the backstory of this park, and for all the viewers in the chat that are from my followers, just tell them where they can follow your page or any pertinent information that you need to get out there in front. Get those follows.
Perfect. So we are the Skate Barn. We are located in Hampstead, North Carolina, basically southeast North Carolina, right outside of Wilmington. Easy shoot up 17 on the highway there. You can follow us at the Skate Barn on Instagram. skatebarnnc.com is our website. We are working real hard just to kind of update and keep things going. Backstory on the park, I say we collectively. Park was started in 1996 by a man named Jimmy Ellington, local legend. He started the park because he loved skateboarding, but more than anything, he loved skateboarders. And he just had a desire and a passion to facilitate a place for them. And so he created this place at that time, which was out in the middle of nowhere. But he built it and people came and he put it on the map. And for the past, man, my math is bad. That's almost 30 years. We're at 29 right now. For the past 29 years, the Skate Barn has been lights on, skater owned, operated, running its thing. Unfortunately, last year, Jimmy lost his fight with cancer and passed away. So the Skate Barn has been handed over in ownership to an individual originally, Wes Corder. Shout out. Thank you so much for all you did for the Skate Barn in the transition phase. Dude's a legend. He put a new roof on the place. He put new siding on the place, really updated it and made it so that the park is still viable. And currently, the park has now been purchased by an individual named Taylor Moretti. You might recognize the last name. His brother Josh Moretti was a pro for 5-bro for a while, so deep roots within skateboarding. But both Taylor and Josh grew up at the Skate Barn. They were as we lovingly call them, barn rats. Anyone who grows up with us and is a part of that culture, they are open arms, effectively opened into that world of being a barn rat. So Taylor's an OG barn rat. He ended up having the opportunity to purchase the facility. He did so probably 4 months ago. And the whole goal is just, we got to keep the lights on for Jimmy. Jimmy's dream is still alive, and every single time we walk in that place and we flip the lights on, we see Jimmy, we hear Jimmy's laugh, and just his love for skateboarding and his love for skateboarders. So our whole goal is just to facilitate that and create a community and cultural hub that skaters in our area and traveling skateboarders alike can enjoy and just be a part of that loving embrace that Jimmy has.
That's awesome. That's really great. Keeping the dream alive is a phrase I've used for years, and it's just that's literally is like everyone has this dream of opening a skate park, and a nightmare is still a dream.
It is literally one of the two. Some days it's a dream, some days it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And admittedly, before we go into any more of this, all of everything I say, like, I just got back behind the counter a couple months ago. So I'm not going to sit here and try and like claim that I did any work on the original side of it. A lot of what we talk about is like the things that we want to do to keep that going. I've been a barn rat and been going to the barn for 10 plus years. So I definitely have facilitated and gone and enjoyed all the fruits of the labor. But now I felt like it was my turn to sit behind that actual counter and kind of do some work behind the scenes. But yeah, keeping the dream alive, man. Like, you go in there one day and it is an absolute dream, and the next day it's like, oh man, how are we going to do this? But
yeah, it's 28 years is crazy. There's not too many parks that have done that.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to shout out anyone in the comments, please let us know, like, who else has a skate park that's been continually operating, indoor private skate park that is continually operated for that long. How Jimmy did it, there's some stories that I've been privy to that he made it through and by the skin of his teeth in a lot of different ways, but he did it. And so now we're here today to just try and keep that going. So if anyone knows of any other private indoor skate parks that are within that age range, let me know. I'm very, very curious.
I think the Incline Club that was in South Jersey had a pretty good run.
Man,
they might have got that 25 years, I think.
Yes, I had the chance to go skate that with a couple of the homies right before it was closing. That place was special. It's very special.
I'm originally from Jersey, so I was there when I was like 14 years old, which is a lifetime ago now. There's a skate park in Syracuse, New York called Black Mamba that's also been around for a long time.
I know Black Mamba very well. Shout out Scott and shout out the little homie Jackson Kudik. That's my dude. So.
Yeah, they've quietly been around for a long time. I've known them for a long time. I didn't realize how long they have been going. But I think the park's for sale right now, actually.
I just heard that. We actually had a couple of traveling skaters from upstate. They were down on vacation in North Myrtle Beach, and they were making their rounds going to different skate parks in the southeast part of North Carolina and South Carolina. So they stopped in the park yesterday and had a good conversation with two younger dudes and the mom and the dad. And it was really cool because I've only traveled to upstate New York, your territory, a couple times, but a few times I've been up there. It's awesome. People I've met have been great. And so it was really cool to have some of y'all come down and hang out with us at the barn the other day.
That's awesome. In the 28 years the skate barn has existed, has it always been in the same location or has it ever moved?
Same location.
That's
same
awesome.
Building. Like I said, West Corridor, he purchased it from Jimmy originally and Taylor purchased it from him. So that's kind of the backstory of where we're at today. But yeah, Wes has put a new roof on it. But other than that, it's been Jimmy, sole operator, sole owner, creator, founder. It was his dream. It was his ambition. I think the Ellington family owns the property that it's around. And I believe, man, I couldn't give you an acreage, but let's say 5 acres.
Okay.
So it's 5 acres right off of Highway 17. And the skate barn is a small portion of it. Jimmy's personal house was back behind there. And now they got a couple Airbnbs and a wedding venue and some other ventures that they're working on. But yeah, the barn's been in the same place the entire time.
So the original owner owned the property.
Yep.
That's the thing. as expensive as this much space is just like it's just not sustainable in the long
No,
run. You know, I'm paying nearly $10,000 a month, and I've been here for almost 10 years. You do the math on this. My
that's
landlord's got $1 million of people skating here for me to work my butt off to bring home like 12 grand a year.
decent chunk of change at the very
Yeah,
least. Golly, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's definitely been the key to success is, and like I said previously, Hampstead used to be podunk nothing. Like it was backwoods country. Like you drive into Hampstead now, there's a sign that's still there that says fishing capital of North Carolina. Like it's like seafood capital of North Carolina. Like it's back in the day. It's not so much anymore. This area is exploding, and there's tons and tons of people moving in there. So tons of neighborhoods and developments and stuff like that. But when Jimmy originally started it, like the skate barn was relatively in the middle of nowhere. But when he started it, how many skate parks were there? There weren't the public concrete parks. And so when pro teams or even just traveling skaters were traveling around, they heard about the skate barn. It was worth their while to go there and support it. So the barns hosted like the most prominent is probably Element. Like I was just flipping through an old photo album. I saw a photo of Bam, like old school Bam, even pre like Viva La Bam. And he was just hanging out at the barn, just goofing off. So tons and tons of teams back in the day used to roll through and do demos and stuff like that. But I genuinely agree with you. The key is owning the spot has been a key to success for the barn for sure.
that makes a lot of sense. And just like there's such a romanticization of the old days when all the skate teams used to come around, and people still to this day are like, oh, do you do skate demos? And like companies just really just don't do that stuff anymore.
No.
Now my particular background is BMX, not skateboarding, but even in that world, it's like in 9 years we've been here, one time did a BMX company come here, and it just happens to be the company that's literally 2 blocks away, so it's pretty convenient for them to come here,
Yeah. I mean, I've worked in the skate industry for 10, 11, 12 years, something around those lines. And I was privy to, so in Wilmington, we were lucky to have Eastern Skateboard Supply. And
Yeah,
Reggie
I work with
Barnes
them.
has his own private indoor park. And just on the note of actual demos and stuff, while I was there, he hosted one demo. Santa Cruz came through. It was awesome. It was a great day. But it wasn't the old glory days. Like, things have definitely changed. Like, even if us at the barn were trying to get one of the big teams to come through, like, it's just, that's not the era we're in anymore,
Oh, it's so hard. When I opened 9 years ago, I tried to do this bowl contest in my bowl. I called it the Super Bowl, and I wanted to make it like my marquee event. And I reached out to brands, and I was like, "What do I have to do to get you guys out here? What are you looking for?" And the companies couldn't even really give me a clear answer
They
as
don't
to.
have one.
Yeah, I'm like, if I pay for like your big guy to get here, put him in a hotel, will you send the rest of them? And they're like, "Well, I don't know. You just gotta
Right.
like let me know." And I'm like, dude, it's like the brands are certainly not great with supporting the brick and mortars anymore because they don't need to because they got social media. They
That's
think they
what I
don't
was
need
about to
us.
say.
Yeah.
Think about like all the clips that are just posted on social media that would have been saved for months and months, maybe years, and put in the video part. Like
Yeah.
45-minute video parts hardly exist anymore. It's now just like get the clip, put it on social media, get
Yep.
100,000 likes, and the brand is happy. And they're happier with that than they would be sending a pro down to the barn or sending them up to your spot. Like it's the world we live in, and it's tough.
Yeah, and the skaters, they used to be you're almost like you're so thirsty for content. It's like when the magazine came out, when the video came out, you wanted to see what they were doing. Now you get so much of it on the phone every day. You're like, skip, skip, skip. So like I said, the brands don't really have to bring the riders to us to show to the kids because the kids just get it on their phone all day, every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because like I'm very, very into skateboarding photography. That's like
Cool.
That's my favorite contribution. One of my favorite contributions that I can give back to the community here in our local scene. And so many people today are so much more interested in just an iPhone clip for their IG. But I'm like, dude, if you can get a good picture that tells the story of where the skater came from, what they're doing, and where they went, to me, it's just like, I grew up in that same era where it's like, unless there was a sequence, if they posted a crazy picture in the magazine and you couldn't tell how the skater got there, like, it just blew your mind. But we're just inundated nowadays and different world, but working hard to bring the photography thing back. And that's one thing that we're trying as an initiative at the barn. Like, one thing that I feel like I can kind of bring to the barn is whenever I'm up there, I bring my camera, and I've been calling it skate barn live action, and kind of hang out, talk to whoever's skating, shoot the crap. And then I see what they're trying, and then I'll go pull the camera out and I'll take a picture. And once they land it, get the shot, I run back into the pro shop, hop on my laptop, edit the photo, post it on our socials, or just airdrop it or email it to them. And I mean, so like the amount of positive response that I've gotten from that, like, it's not necessarily a money generator for us, but just like supporting the community who comes to support us. Like, when the dude comes and pays, we charge $8 for the day. So when they come and they pay $8 and they walk out and I stop them, I'm like, yeah, like, you got an iPhone? Like, let me airdrop this to you. And they get the photo, and it's like, they have that memory and that still shot of the day. Like, little initiatives like that are things that we're trying to do to like keep Jimmy's dream alive and just build the community. Because if we can build the community, we don't have to milk the core base that comes and supports us regardless. Like, the goal is to build more skateboarders so that they can come and have a hub and support us that way. So we're just working on little initiatives, stuff like that.
That's great. My background's also in photo, so that strikes a nerve with me, a positive nerve. I'm in the middle of summer camps right now. I've been here I've been here for 12 hours already today. And we do photos with our summer camp kids, and it's hilarious. I used to shoot for the BMX magazines, and now I'll set up my flashes to take a picture of like an 8-year-old kid not landing a tail whip on a scooter,
Yeah. But they love it.
Yeah.
They love it. It's like, and that's what it's all about. It's just generating that stoke and just keeping that flame going and just supporting them. And it's like, I've done the same. I've worked with a couple of different camps, and we at the barn are working on getting our camps back in. There's been many, many camps done in the past, but like I said, we're kind of new ownership. We're really working very hard to get a lot of the old programs going. But going back to the point, like, some of the camps that I've gone to and like worked with the kids, like, I come back and start going through the photos, and the kids are just like rolling down a bank. But like, you send the photo to them, and I have to like check myself, because I'm like, that photo, they're rolling down a bank. But like, the kid is stoked, and you can see the smile on their face, and you're like, you know what? Who cares if it's not a tray flip down a 16 stair? Like, this kid is just as stoked as that other dude who I go out and shoot, who is quote unquote super talented. It's just all about making sure that you foster the next generation and get people excited to be on a skateboard, a bike, whatever it might be,
I do find it an interesting, fun challenge when you're trying to shoot an interesting photo of a rider at a much lower skill level. You're like, oh, what can I do to make something so basic look good?
Yes, it definitely is a little bit of a challenge. But like I said, like, my background really is in writing. I love to write. And so I've had my own personal website that I've done, and it was all focused on just writing about skateboarding. And I quickly realized that no one wants to read an essay about skateboarding without any kind of photographs. So I started taking my own photos, because it's impossible to rely on someone else to give you photos. But like, yeah, it gets to the point where like, when you're taking a photo of someone who's just kind of starting out, it's like, you got to tell that story and like see where they're coming from. And like, it's so fun to me to watch throughout the week of skate camps. And I'll do like Monday photos and compare them to Friday photos, and just the progression that you see within the kids. It's like, it's insane.
That's an interesting idea there. If you could somehow weave the writing and the photos into something that works on the modern social media landscape, I feel like there's something in there that could click, that could make really engaging, like medium format content, which is tough because everyone wants like short format.
Correct.
And obviously we're here doing long format, but yeah, there's something in the middle that you can make it work.
No, I've definitely learned that throughout. Like, my own personal website is my trial and error. Like, if it fails, whatever. Like, I have no skin in the game. If I lose a couple $100 a year hosting the website just so I can post my dumb content, it's whatever. it really is just my plug and play trial and error. And I've learned so much about like the length of content that you can post, how long your captions need to be, how long the article needs to be, like how to get people engaged and actually scroll to the bottom of the page. And because it's definitely a dying art. Like people don't want to read long internet articles, myself included. I find myself clicking on things and just kind of like, oh, this isn't Instagram. This isn't instant dopamine. But and I've been trying to translate that and like take it to the barn and or any other organizations that I'm working with, and just those lessons that I've learned of like, you got to paint the picture, but you got to keep it relatively short and sweet, you know?
So you said you recently got involved, owners changed over at the skate barn, and you just recently got involved. So you're working in a management role. So what's your goal there working for them? Like tell me how you came into the picture, and then like what you're going to bring to the table here. Like what's, I know you want to keep the dream alive, but like what are the things?
How I came into the picture was I accidentally fell into it. So the owner, Taylor, after he purchased it, was reaching out to some of the original barn rats, some guys who ultimately are my friends. And he was like, hey, I need someone to kind of like take ownership of this place and like just give it a spark and just be here, do it. And my friends ratted me out, Big Mike and Shane Berg. They threw me under the bus and they got me into this. And they said, oh, dude, Josh, that guy, he might be all right with it. And so Taylor reached out to me, and honestly, like I've told you guys, like I have a 9-to-5 job already. Like I have a 40-hour job that pays my bills and I'm good. But Taylor reached out to me and just kind of explained his position on it. And the position of the barn is like, it wasn't purchased in order to make money. It's not like we need this to facilitate our livelihood. The whole goal is just to make it float. And then if we can get that boat further and further out of the water, then we're golden, and we can just do more community outreach. We can build more stuff. We can just make the barn better. So I think we're in a really unique position to where it's a team of individuals who don't rely on the barn to pay our individual personal bills at home. Just out here trying to make skateboarding feasible and make the indoor park work. So I kind of fell into the role. But I love skateboarding with all of my heart, mind, and soul. I think I watched one of your previous podcasts, and I forget the individual, but he was talking about, he's like, the moment I went from someone who skateboarded to someone who was a skateboarder was when it was all you could think about, when it just controlled and dominated everything about you. And I've been doing that for 15 years, 20 years now. And the opportunity for me to give back and just put my time, energy, effort, and some of the skills that I've learned in to try and keep Jimmy's dream going, felt like it was my time. So I was like, you know what? All right, I'll go up there 4 days a week and see what we can do and make it happen.
Cool. That was Alan Prezzotti who said that. He works for Crudco up here. They've been around for like 30 years.
Yep.
He's also been the president and the vice president of the nonprofit that got our outdoor park built. I've been on that board for like 10 years as well. So he's one of us who've been like fighting this battle for years. At this point, for people like him and me and probably you, we probably spend far more time advocating for the sports than we actually get to do the sports, because you're balancing family life and everything else under the 100%. Sun.
And it's funny you say the outdoor part, because I know so I've known my buddy Jackson up in the Syracuse area for a long time. And his whole shtick is like, in the summer times, yeah, you can go to the concrete park, but in the wintertime, like they need people like you up in New York where you can't skate in the winter. There's snow on the ground. There's salt on the roads. Like you need an indoor skate park, and the need for a community up there to support you guys and keep you open so that they have somewhere to skate it's vital. It's such a unique like juxtaposition down here, because it's like we have some really, really good outdoor free concrete parks. The struggle we have at the barn sometimes, like, and what I think about is like, before I even worked there, I was like, why would I go pay money to go skate at the barn when I could go skate a perfect concrete park for free? And so like
Yep.
when I talked to Taylor and got involved with working here, I'm like, the goal would be, I started thinking about all the hindrances I had personally from going up and supporting the barn. And I'm like, how, if those are my hindrances, then other people are feeling that too. How can I break that down? Because we have basically 365 days a year. You could go to a concrete park here and it's no problem. You know, weather's hot in the summer, but in the winter it's mild. Like you can literally skate outside all year. So we're up against the concept of why would I pay to go skate the barn when I could go to the free concrete park, which is the same distance away. So
Yeah. Up here in Rochester, I mean, there's always been a really strong skate and bike scenes in both Rochester and Buffalo. But there's up until very recently, there was a serious dearth of outdoor parks in Western New York, and actually most of New York. It's been crazy how long it took for us to get them. And now that we do have the outdoor parks, many people come to me and they think it's been very bad for me. When in fact, it's like a push and pull.
yeah,
On in the fall and spring, I'm definitely getting hit where I'm losing all those sales. My summers are about the same, and the winter's been better. Because I do believe that a vibrant skate scene, riding scene involves all of the things: indoor
yes,
parks, outdoor parks, DIYs, key holder warehouses, school programs, everything. All those things. The more of those things you have, the better the overall scene is going to be.
100%.
And one of the analogies I often use is, imagine, you know, there's only one basketball court in the
Right.
county, right? And it's two towns over. It's in the back corner. There's grass growing through the pavement. There's no chains on the basketball hoop, and your kid's like, "Mom, take me there. I want to do this." Most parents are going to be like, "What the heck is that?" So that's what skate parks have been like for years and years and years. And now that at least up here in Western New York, the proliferation of outdoor parks is making it this thing where skateboarding is becoming very visible and very attainable for many people when it wasn't in the past, and that's certainly going to help me in the long run,
Yep.
while obviously hurting me when it's nice out.
Man, that's the whole goal though. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's like, for me, my whole thing with getting into skateboarding and like getting into the industry and doing my own website and stuff like that, it's always been about like creating community while curating culture. It's like we have such a deep culture and one of, if not, maybe I'm biased, but the best communities in the entire world. Like, and just inviting people into that. And once they taste it and experience it, they get hooked. So like my whole thing is like, I really want to use the barn as a vessel, just to facilitate that and just to create more skateboarders. And it's just, I want it to be just this hub where people can come and be themselves and just be skateboarders. And through that, experience the culture that allowed them to do that. Experience Jimmy and all of his dreams and all the dudes who have been underneath the roof and in those rafters. Like, it's all like, it's like a cathedral almost, it still echoes in there. And I just want the young kids to be able to experience what I experienced as a kid. And thankfully, the barn's been there enough generations that I experienced it as a kid, but there's a whole nother generation before me who experienced it. So it's like, I feel like I'm at the point now in my life within my skateboarding journey where it's like, all right, my elders gave back to me and taught me the way. I'm not old, but I'm old enough now that it's like, all right, it's my turn. It's my turn to foster the next generation. It's my turn to create more skateboarders and give them what skateboarding has given me.
You sound like you have a great mentality. It sounds like you're saying exactly what I want to hear from someone doing what you're doing. Many times people come to me and they tell me they want to open a skate park, and really what they're telling me is like, I want to have a skate park that I can skate all the time, right? And if you're
Build it in your backyard
yeah,
then.
if your goal is to have a spot where you can skate and have fun with you and your homies, you want a key holder or like a
Right.
barn, right? Or like if you actually want to facilitate skateboarding to a broader audience, you're not going to be skating that much. You
No.
can, but you're going to be working the county. You're going to be doing the hustle. Um, and you're a couple of months in, so I'd be interested to talk to you down the road as things kind of evolve. Because when I got involved in the skate park world 13 years ago, I was like, oh, I thought it was like this, and then we could do that, and we'll try and do that, and almost everything I thought was pretty much wrong. So like my thought has evolved over the years.
100%. Yeah,
I
my
mean,
background, so I've worked in the industry, started at Eastern Skateboard Supply, crushing boxes and sweeping the floors. So Eastern Skateboard Supply, for people who don't know, it's a wholesale distributor here in Wilmington, one of, if not the biggest wholesale distributors in the entire world. But I started out, the owner gave me an incredible opportunity and facilitated my dream and just let me crush boxes and sweep the floor. And that evolved into ultimately working for one of the brands that he distributed for, and just worked my way up from the warehouse and started doing sales and marketing. And so I've worked in the sales side of it, where I'm the one who's pitching to skate shops. And I go and I've been able to go talk to countless shop owners and just hear their plights or hear their successes and kind of see what's working for them and see what's not working for them. So this is an interesting change for me to kind of get on the other side of that counter, because I know it's like skate shops are hurting, skate parks are hurting. Like that's a tough game right now. Like if someone walked through the barn doors and they were like, I want to go start a skate shop in my hometown, I would be like, don't. I mean this very respectfully. I love your stoke and I love your ambition, but like it's not a game for the weak. It's not a game for the meek at all. So I've seen it from like the industry side, where I've been the sales rep walking in your door with a smile and stickers and a free t-shirt, like, hey man, how are you doing? You want to stock our product in your shop? And then I've heard from skate park, like shop owners and stuff like that. And now, so we have a pro shop at the park. It's not necessarily a full-blown, it is a full-blown shop, but it's not like our money maker per se. It's more or less just to supply gear for people as they need it. But like, it's really funny to me now being on the other side of that counter and being like, okay, like now I get it. Everyone that's complained to me and expressed their things that are going on in the industry, like it is me now. So I'm hoping that I can take what I learned from the sales rep position and now blend it with the salesman position and see if we can't kind of make a happy medium, see if we can't make it work.
Yeah, I'm a little biased because I own a skate park,
Yeah.
but I can't think of any better business for any skate or BMX or scooter brand to want to partner close with than a skate park, because we have such an interest in creating a rider that is a long-term rider. At a skate shop, you're like, oh, I'm going to sell another complete and maybe a helmet to someone for Christmas, and they might not ever skate again. Like you and I, us people, the guys at Woods Room that we've had on the show, all of us, like we want to make that kid who's a lifelong skater and is obsessed that comes here over and over and over and over.
We need you to come back.
I don't understand why the brands don't, literally no brands have ever reached out to me to partner with me, to work with me. What can we do? Literally, I mean, one BMX brand that I have a personal tie with has been like, well, what can we do for you? And then they're in California, so there's not a whole lot they can do. But like, we're here, like,
And I think that's kind of the problem with the industry. That was one reason why I really kind of fell out of it. It was like I kind of got burned out because it's all about just like digital sales, and like the people at the top are just literally looking at the numbers in QuickBooks or on Instagram with their ads. And I feel like with that digitalization came a lot of innovation, but they lost touch with the roots. And the industry, I feel like, has really lost touch with what it actually means to support the community. And rather than, I don't think many brands and many people have the feeling that me and you are sharing right now, where it's like, no, I want to create skateboarders. I think a lot of them are like, I want to create revenue. How do I get my ad on Instagram in front of the right person at the right time so that they click buy and I can get that money in my account so I can meet my monthly quota? Rather than thinking, if I create more skateboarders, then there will be a bigger market for my product. If I create a bigger audience, I don't have to target the 15, 20, whatever people that it is that are specific to me. If I create 150 of them, then the support will come organically. So I think the industry has really lost touch with the roots, and I agree. It's reaching out to the big boys. It's like, it ain't going to happen. They're not here to support me or you. And I'm not calling them out, but that's just how I see it. And that's just how it felt to me when I was on the inside.
Yeah, I would go to a trope I bring up on this show all the time, and I hope one day this is a thing that my viewers will yell at me, oh, Dave brought up the thing again. But I always go to this point where all of these brands, they'll spend, basically 100% of their marketing budget trying to access, the 1% or 2% of riders who are already skateboarding. They spend
Correct.
like literally nothing trying to reach the 92% of riders who aren't. It's like, sorry, I said those numbers wrong there, maybe. Like I said, like 1% ride, 99% don't. It's like, so wouldn't it make a lot of sense to try to access these, most kids that aren't already riding?
Right.
And and for BMX, it's even worse because even less people ride BMX than skateboard.
I can only imagine that industry that's tough.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like BMX is on the surface might be a little more. It might seem more accessible because most kids will ride bikes, so it feels like this little step to get to BMX. But none of the brands do anything about that.
Right.
Skateboarding is a different animal where like everyone wants to skateboard. It's cool. It's romanticized in pop culture. Skateboarding is awesome, but skateboarding is also really, really, really hard.
And the problem with that is, so I grew up as a surfer too, and I grew up in what I consider the last real era of surfing. This is going to be the core purist with inside of me. Surfing today is whack, like industry-wise, and what they put out. It is so watered down. It is so lame. It is literally just go to the beach, get tan, we're hot, we're sexy, and it's like doesn't focus at all on the surfing. I grew up in the last era, in my opinion, biased again, of like true, pure surfers. Dudes who surf, chicks who surf because they loved surfing. And my biggest fear for skateboarding is that it gets cool. Because surfing got cool. And now mainstream love surfers. And so here at the coast in Wilmington, it's like when I go try to paddle out, I'm paddling out with 100, literally 100 to 150 people. And the beaches are packed with surfers who don't know the etiquette. They don't know the rules. They don't know any of the culture. And they just think, oh, surfing's cool. Let me go buy a sock top, paddle out. And they just cut you off. They get in your way. They blow it. They've completely ruined the culture and the community of surfing. So, like, I know with the industry side of it, like, you need some money coming in. You need skating to be kind of cool. But my biggest fear is that, like, skateboarding gets cool on that corporate level. Like, cooler than even, like, Nigel's making it or dudes like that. Because the moment that skateboarding becomes cool, it's going to be a real challenge to keep that cultural roots and the connection to it alive. And the cultural connection is literally what made it for me. Like, skateboarding is so special to me because my forefathers went out and they did what they did. Jimmy did what he did. He built a skate park in a barn. Like, that's not cool. It wasn't because he was trying to be sexy or this or that. It was because it's what he loved to do and he loved his community. So the moment it becomes like super popular and the mainstream starts really taking to it more than they already have, it scares me. Like,
That's an interesting thought. Like when skateboarding and action sports were their largest, it's probably arguably in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
right.
And at that point, it wasn't like cool and sexy like surfing. It was
Right.
like extreme. Everything in 1999 was like right guard extreme. Like so like I think that's one of the things that actually hurts action sports is this like obsession of like how extreme it is. I had the news here this past winter, and there was like all these live segments on the news, and I was telling the reporter here, like, let's not use any of that language about like it being extreme and crazy, because like it's not extreme and crazy. It's like actually pretty chill and casual. And we crafted skillfully how we spoke about the sports in a manner in which I think translated what I wanted like really really well. But then when I watched the full segment, the dumb people in the studio were like, "We're going down to breaking free with some extreme action." It's like, oh my god, dude! It's like
No,
it's cheesy and like you're not helping. You're
no.
not helping.
It wasn't. I think I saw it on your channel. You were talking about how you know someone who owns a local trampoline park, and they have way more injuries than you've ever sustained at your skate park. Is that
Yeah,
right?
a girl who worked for me worked here on Saturdays and trampoline park on Sundays. And she was saying in the 1 day a week she was here versus 1 day a week there, way more injuries at the trampoline park.
I believe it, but
I almost
somehow
never ever see injuries. It's actually really, really, really rare.
very rare. Like I'll pass out a Band-Aid to a kid every now and then. Here's an alcohol swab and a Band-Aid, but very rarely have I ever seen anything super gnarly.
Yeah, I was talking to Mike at Woods Room again this morning. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. They're doing the bike park in Pittsburgh, and we were talking about insurance stuff. And same thing. He's like, they were doing a bike park in Pittsburgh, that the one he used to work at. I think he said it was what 90,000 square feet, and like they'd have hundreds of people there for events and just like doing attendance that's double, triple what I'm doing. And again, it was like, yeah, maybe about one ambulance a year.
Yeah,
It's so rare people actually get hurt, and like that's such a stigma that like we need to fight against. That this is like this dangerous, crazy, extreme thing where people are breaking their legs. It literally just doesn't happen.
it doesn't. Absolutely not. Sorry, I got to plug my phone in. It's running low on bat. But yeah, I've only ever had one 911 call down to the barn, and that was someone who just hit their head skating the bowl, and they got up, they walked out on their own power. EMS checked them out, and they were released that same night. They were good to go. They just needed a little bit of rest. But yeah, like it's just crazy to me that so many people label our sport as just dangerous and extreme and unsafe, when really and truly, like especially with safety equipment nowadays, like as a kid, if you want to get into it, put helmet, knee, wrist guards on, you're good. Like you're made of rubber. You're just gonna bounce up, get back on it.
Yeah, and basically every injury I've ever had here has been non-riders. There are people who, I did it a little bit when I was a teenager and now I'm 30 and I want to try it again, or I never did this. Although my first ever injury and my most recent ones were actually core riders, but outside of that, every other single one were not regular customers, regular riders. Because regular
That makes
riders know how to fall. They're good at anticipating. They feel it's about to happen and they get away. And almost all of my major injuries have been tib fib breaks. And I could show you the security footage of every single one of them, and you'd look at it and you'd go, how the heck did that break that person's leg? Because these are
right.
non-riders. They don't have the bone density. Their body isn't used to doing this. They just like, if you don't do this, your body's not used to it. You can't be like 30 and haven't touched a skateboard or done any impact sports in over a decade and think your body's going to just be able to take it right off the bat.
Yeah, and also like I love like the concept of falling while we're talking about it. Like I always tell people, like if you're not falling, you're not learning. Like if you're not pushing yourself to a level of slight uncomfort to where you end up like eating it a little bit, then you're literally just staying within your comfort zone. And like I've always really appreciated how skateboarding, BMX, and all the other sports around that our parks facilitate. It's like it teaches these kids a lesson. It's like you fell down, but you didn't fail. It's not like you're a failure. It's not like you lose. It's not like it teaches them lessons to where it's like if you go out and try and start a business and it doesn't work, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. You learned how to do it. You learned how to not do it. And by learning how to not do it, you're going to learn how to do it. And skateboarding, BMX, all of it is the ultimate for that. To where it's like, if you fall, pick yourself up and try it again. That's like the definition of insanity. But that one time that you land it, just pure stoke. And I think that just translates into life so well. And I think our community is just so battle hardened. And we're able to just take on life like no one else. Like it's helped me out so much in my own personal life to where I'm like, well, that sucks that happened, but you know what? Peel yourself up off the concrete, wipe the blood off, and keep going. Try it again. And that's one thing I've always tried to instill to any of our younger riders that come up to the barn or anywhere that I've encountered them. It's just like if you fall, it's all good. It doesn't mean anything. You just gotta get back up and try it again.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest hurdles indoor skate parks are fighting right now is just the proliferation of the phone-based childhood. And it's
Yeah.
just it and it's so easy to stick the tablet in the kid's face, but then they don't experience the world. They don't learn anything remotely
At all.
resembling something like the risk assessment that kids do during skateboarding, right?
Yeah.
Skateboarding is this thing where your kid could be 7 years old and he's standing on top of the ramp, and mom can't hold his hand. He has to sit there and think about the consequences. He has to. It's like, if I lean too far that way, if I do this, and then he has to try it, and he might fall, and then but he's going to assess that risk on his own.
Yep.
Take that risk on his own, and that sort of, and they're not, kids are not getting this anywhere else anymore. Like literally
Nowhere.
even in traditional sports now, it's so hyper managed by adults, or even my wife's son does some sports through the city here in Rochester, and like they played baseball, but they don't keep track of outs or runs,
Really.
and like he plays hockey, but there aren't really teams. They just break the kids up and they just scrimmage. So they're never even really competing. It's and when they are, there's like all these parents and all the structure around them. Skateboarding, BMX, scootering it makes kids anti-fragile, right?
Yeah.
It gives kids the ability to assess risk. It is the perfect recipe to combat these like dopamine sucking machines that
100%.
are
Because
ruining our kids' brains.
and as much as I love skate contests, my favorite thing is just free skating because the only competition you have is with yourself. Like, if you're having the most fun, you're the best skater in the whole park. It's not like at the end of the day you walk out of the skate barn or that you walk out of breaking free and you're like, well, I lost 4-2 today. I didn't do like no, like you walk out of any of these parks and you're like, dude, I dropped in or I landed that tray flip over the hubba. Like whatever your personal like battle might be, you're just competing with yourself. And I love that. Like I'm not a super competitive person myself, so I really appreciate how skateboarding just allows it to be like there's not a winner or a loser. If you're having fun and enjoying yourself, you did it. Like you win. So really trying to instill that in people and make sure like they know like this isn't a soccer match where there is no scoreboard. There is no this or that. It's like you came here to skate and you're skating for you. And I think that's important. That's lost on a lot of kids nowadays.
Yeah, I mean the score is really like how much fun you have, like how much progression you made. Like
Right.
you could say it's like tricks landed, but it's really not tricks landed. It's really like just progression, um, and doing the stuff that you know how to do, reiterating the tricks because if you already know how to do tricks and you're out there doing your normal runs, that's basically all like your serotonin system. You're doing your regular stuff, but then when you're trying to learn new tricks, you're getting into that exploratory place. That's like your dopamine systems. So like it is literally the perfect recipe to counteract the way all these phones are just screwing up our brains. It looks like we may have lost our guest here. Um, we'll see. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it looks like we lost him. How's the live chat going here? Jeez. I bet you his phone died. He said he was putting his phone on the charger. Well, that was a pretty good show. Where are we at here? We almost made it an hour. Dude, the podcast has been plagued with technical difficulties over the last 3 weeks. I'm currently rebuilding the podcast studio, so that's why we're out here in the skate park today. The quality got bad there. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is trying our best out here. I'm just a guy at a skate park trying to run a podcast. So yeah, well, if he doesn't jump back in the next couple minutes, we'll wrap up today's live stream. That was Josh from the skate barn. Oh yeah, there. Josh is in the chat. His phone died. He's trying to get back in on the laptop. So we'll see if he can get in. But yeah, that was Josh from the Skate Barn in North Carolina. They've been open for 28 years. They've been through a few owners. He's currently the new manager of the skate park down there. They currently have a GoFundMe going to rebuild their street section. I'm sure if you go to their profile, the Skate Barn's profile, you go to their. Hopefully they have like a link tree or something in their bio to get to that GoFundMe because they're raising that money for that skate park. This show might get cut short because Josh left, but what an inspirational story there. Skate park that's been open for that long. Owner who had passed away from cancer, and they're keeping the dream alive. Man, if you don't have enough reasons to support your local indoor, I mean, you got to get out there and support. Maybe if I die of cancer, people will keep my skate park open. Is that kind of morbid? Maybe. Do I have any questions in the live chat while I try to burn up a few minutes here to see if we can get Jason back in the show? Sorry, Josh back in the show. If not, I think we can call it a short show tonight, and we can have Josh back on at another date and time. I got a lot of guests lined up for the show in the coming weeks. I put out a post yesterday looking for people looking to come on. I got lots and lots of messages, lots of people looking to come up. So we're lining up a lot of shows over the next couple of weeks. We're 2 weeks away from our 100th episode. I'm trying to line up something really special for our 100th episode. On Thursdays, we open at 4 o'clock. We skate at Dawn 77 asked. Right now, we're in the middle of summer camps. I'm grinding hard here. I'm at the skate park at like 9:30 in the morning. I'm here with summer camp all day, staying late doing the podcast. Just always grinding out here, trying to keep the dream alive. So if you want to keep the dream alive, support Breaking Free Skate Park, support BFS Live, the podcast, support everything we're doing. You can go to the link in our bio. You can go to our Patreon. You can support what we're doing for as little as $5 a month. At $25 a month, you get a free day pass. At $50 a month, you get 2 free day passes. At $80 a month, you get every day, weekday for free. At $120, you get every day for free. So, great way to support the skate park in the summer months when you're not coming in because it's nice outside and it's hot as heck inside the skate park. I'm sweating here doing this show. Last little bit of tidbit here while we're seeing if Josh can get back in the show. I started this show back up in December. We've done maybe 30 episodes or so every single week. We're doing live shows. It's been fun. I've committed to 1 year of posting a video once a day or every other day and doing weekly podcasts. This is all in an effort to see if we can save this skate park. Breaking Free Skate Park has really, really struggled since COVID. It is no longer at a sustainable amount of income despite all of my efforts. And, there's only so much one individual can do to bring home as little money as I do to do this. So basically this winter is going to be the point in time in which I decide whether I'm going to re-sign my lease or if the skate park will, be closing, which sucks to say. But the way the timeline is going to work out is by the end of this winter, I will decide whether we're going to keep the skate park going forward or whether we're going to just do 1 year and make it to our 10-year mark and then, see if someone wants to buy it or whatever. And that's kind of where we're at. So thank you, everyone, for tuning into the show. Thank you from Josh for Skate Barn for coming in. Josh is trying to get back into the show. It says it's not working. We can see if he'll get back in. But I feel like I was really tying that up real nice, and now we're back.
Whoa. Sorry, y'all.
We're back.
Man, that is the epitome of my life. My phone is forever on dead. So I apologize about that, Instagram.
That's what, if there's anything that owning a skate park is like, it's like this.
Yeah.
If it can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. You're going to roll with the punches. You're going to make it up on the fly. You're going to do the best thing you can.
Dude, I always just call it adapt and overcome. It's funny. So
100%.
we skate at Dawn, the guy who was commenting, asking about coming up. He's from your area, but he's living down here now. That's the homie.
Oh, so, yeah? What's
Eric
his name?
Topping. Eric Topping. He's the super, super good dude. So he's
Sick.
probably going to come visit you here in the next week or so. I think he's coming up your way.
Oh, was
But
he the one posting the stories about what parks to hit up?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But it's so funny. We were going on a little skate trip just like 3 hours away up to the Charlotte metro area. And he was driving. So he came and he picked me up at the apartment. And I walked downstairs. And I had my bag, my backpack, which probably had a change of socks and maybe an extra t-shirt. I had my camera and my skateboard. And he's like, yo, do you like have a blanket or anything? And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me run back upstairs. So that's just a little like preface of like, yeah, I'm not surprised my phone died. I'm apologetic, but not surprised.
I should have told you. Normally, when I have guests on, I'm like, oh, make sure you have a drink handy. Make sure you go to the bathroom. And make sure your phone's charged.
I was planning on doing it on the laptop because my phone,
Yeah.
as you can probably tell from my camera quality, my phone is crap.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out on the laptop how to request to join because I've never used Instagram on a laptop. So
Yeah, what happened was you were in the queue as a request to join, and I guess maybe you couldn't send it twice or something. I don't know.
well, we're back. The phone's on the charger. It's
Cool.
good.
Yeah. So, in your management role here, like, is there anything unique that you're trying to bring to the table to change up going forward with Skate Barn here?
So like I said, we're not trying to change too much. Like the whole goal is to just keep Jimmy's dream alive and to keep within that. We want to cater to our core OG barn rats to when they come into the barn, they still feel like it's 1996. But we also want to make sure that mom and dad from 2025 who bring their 10-year-old kid aren't scared away. You know what I mean? Like, perfect example. Like if it's just the homies out skating, I'll let them take the aux for the speaker and they can put on whatever they want. But as soon as like mom and dad show up, if the music is like a little one way or the other, I kind of go up and tap the shoulder. I'm like, hey man, like, can we put on something a little bit more mellow? Like I'm not trying to be the fun police. Like I'm enjoying the music, but at the same time, I want to make sure that mom and dad feel welcome and that they want to come back and bring their kid. So little stuff like that, just making sure to cater to everyone, which is a very tough task.
Yes.
But my main goal is just starting little community-oriented events. The first one that we initiated last Saturday was Ladies Skate Day. So ladies skate for free all day. You show up as a lady, you're in. Come skate with us. And then I was talking to one of my friends who's a female, and she was telling me, it's like, how cool would it be if you offered a private session for the girls? And I was like, well, we can't necessarily shut down the doors and turn away business, but what if we open the doors an hour early? So we normally open at 10 on Saturdays, but now on the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. is specifically an hour for ladies. So if you come like as a regular skate barn individual and you're not a lady, we turn you away until 10. But if you're a lady, you come in, you get an extra hour for free, and then hopefully that can foster into just like a rad group of girls who come and skate and support each other. And so like little things like that, like just trying to figure out community-oriented events and reasons to have people come up to the barn, you know, cater to the community, try to build the community, try to make it so that the skate barn is not a place where you just have to go spend money, but rather it's a place where you go and you spend your money, but you get back what you put into it. And it just fosters, like, I'll use these words all night, culture and community. Like those are the key. I just want to, me, the owner, the whole team, we all just want the skate barn to just be a culture and a community hub for every skater in our area and traveling abroad as well. So.
Yeah, I also do a ladies' night. It's the third Monday of the month, which normally I'm closed on Mondays, but that third Monday I'm open up. We do 6 p.m. to 9. We've been doing it once a month for it's got to be almost 9 years now, 8.5 years, and it's not well attended.
Yeah.
Years ago when we first started it, it was crazy. We would have like 30 women and girls show up. There'd be carloads of girls from Buffalo and Syracuse showing up, and it was really, really incredible. And just over the years, it kind of like simmered down. Post-COVID, it's never really turned around. I still have the same 2 or 3 girls come once a month, and most of the time I don't even charge them.
Yeah.
Ladies' night is like $10 and free rental, and but like if I'm going to be here for $30, I might as well be a nice guy and give it to them for free anyway. Like, what's the difference, you know?
Isn't that the truth? I hear that completely.
And there's some local girls who I've known since they were girls. I've known these girls since they were probably like 8 years old, both of them, and now they're, you know, grown ups in college and everything, or out of college, and now they're really trying to revive Ladies' Night. They have their own Instagram page for Ladies' Night, and they're really trying to bump it up for me. And it was weird, you know, like, you know, years ago the ladies skate thing was really, really popular around here, and it's like we can't get it going again. It's weird.
I wonder if it's like, because we've had a lot of people like reaching out and like really being supportive. Like, we didn't have like a huge turnout. We normally have 1 to 2 ladies who come and skate regularly on Saturdays. We probably had 6 to 7. So I mean, numbers wise, is that super impressive? Maybe not, but percentage wise, that's awesome. Like, we increased it by 3 or 4 times. So small victories, but we've had a lot of people really reaching out and really responding and really on social media just singing praise and saying how cool it is. It's one of those things now where I'm curious and hopeful that the community actually rallies behind it, because it's very easy to post a comment, whereas it's a little bit more difficult to actually get in the car and come out. So
Dude,
how do you make them get in the car and come out?
You're preaching to the damn choir, dude. The people comment on stuff. Like, the last event I did, I had more people shared the event on Facebook than came to the event in real life. It's so crazy. Like, sometimes, dude, like, we do like we have a normal beginner session on Saturday mornings. Then we have like this once a month super beginner thing that's like just strictly limited to families and little kids. And we do the Ladies' Night once a month. We used to do Old Guys, which was Sunday morning, and it was like it had to be 25, older than 25, or have a beard was the rule.
Oh, that's
and eventually I stopped doing that as a specific like limited session, because I just couldn't turn away people on Sunday mornings.
Yes.
Because Sundays were growing to be just as busy as Saturdays. And during the week time, Tuesday night is skate night, so it's half off for skaters. Wednesday night's bike night, half off for bikes. Thursday's inline and quad, and then Friday is scooter. And that's one of those things where you're trying to build community. Like, if you can if all the bikers know all the bikers are there on Wednesday, then Wednesday night's going to be the night you get them all together. Then they become friends, and then they end up being a group chat over here, and they come together. And you know, some years some of those sessions do really well, and then next winter it doesn't. Like, this past winter, like, I had very little support from the local skate scene around here.
Interesting.
But the bikes have been good, and the bikes have actually trended toward like 26-inch dirt jumper bikes. So things are always changing and evolving, and I'm not afraid to lean into whoever's coming here, because they're the ones coming here, you know.
You have to, man. You absolutely have to. So you mentioned it earlier in the show, but I'll definitely come back on in 6 to 8 months, give you an update, because I'm full of ideas right now, but we're so new with this new ownership. That it's like, I'm just going to throw things at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, it's what you got to do.
Like, I'm not afraid to try something, and if it doesn't get traction, we can move on to the next thing. But it's just giving people a reason to come out to the skate park. I think that's like, because you're always going to have your tricklers who come into the park every day, you know, but we can't sustain off of the trickle. We can't just be like, I hope people decide to come. It's like, I really want to just focus on giving people a reason to come to the skate barn. Normal days, the trickle, but then a couple weekends a month, just have, even if it's only 2 Saturdays a month, just something to where it's like a big session or like a big draw. I don't know what that is just yet, but like some kind of attraction to where people are like, oh yeah, we're going to the barn. Because there's been events, like there's been contests and like different things at the barn where it's just packed out. It's not a huge space. So the barn is much smaller than your space. I don't have a square footage for you, but go to the Instagram, check it out, look at it. You could see like it's really not a huge footprint at all. So if you get 200 people in there, dude, it's like a what's that Lampoon house party where it's just like, dude, standing room only. So like all we need. It's like a couple hundred people, and that place is just absolutely popping. So I mean, like just giving people a reason to choose to come up to the skate barn. That's kind of the whole goal. That's don't change too much. Keep to the roots, keep to the core, but cater to the next generation as well. Because Hampstead's changing as well. So Hampstead used to be the seafood capital of the world, but the biggest seafood distributor that was literally adjacent to our building, they just closed shop and they moved further out. It's nothing but subdivisions and developments and yoga pants moms and Broncos and Jeeps. And so it's a new demographic. And with that comes new opportunity. Like you kind of got to roll with the change. So trying to tap into the newcomers into the area and get them to recognize that the barn is a place that they can come as a family-friendly atmosphere while not changing it too much to where the OG barn rats are like, this isn't cool, this sucks. So finding that balance, that's the mission now.
That's something I bring up all the time, that owning a skate park is really about weaving that line.
Yes.
It can't be too edgy that you're going to freak out the moms, and it can't be too family friendly that you scare away the core guys. Like there is this happy medium, and you know you're doing the happy medium right when you're upsetting some people on the extremes, you know?
Correct.
Like I've gotten emails from moms being like, "Oh my God, the couches at your skate park are disgusting," and I was like, "Yeah, read that again slowly." You know, the couches at your skate park, like, dude, like they're gonna be. This is a 110-year-old manufacturing building. It's old and dirty.
There are couches at your skate park. Most skate parks don't even have couches. So
Yeah.
Count your blessings, Mom. There's a couch for you.
Yeah, it's very. Who the heck is here?
Oh man.
Oh, it's just freaking me out. Like here late at night, dropping off my shirts for summer camp. What? Yeah, it's fine. Dude, that just freaked me out. I was like, who the heck is here right now? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, you got to weave that line. You got to pick that battle.
Yeah, one way we found our way around that is we offer a membership program.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pay a monthly due and you get in for free. Like it's $50 for the month for one person, then $100 a month for a family of three.
Those are really, really reasonable rates.
Yeah. And then once again, I think that does go back to the fact that we own the land rather than have a landlord telling us what the rent is, because rent would probably be a lot more than any kind of mortgage or this or that. But the membership, if you pay that fee, then we have locks on the gates to our building, and you can actually come up before the pro shop opens and stay later than the pro shop closes.
Oh, interesting.
So our normal hours on a weekday is 12 to 8, 1 o'clock to 8, depending upon the day. And on the weekend, it's 9 o'clock to 8. And so the members can come up. We skate at dawn. He's a perfect example. We'll use him. He lives up to his name. He loves to skate early. So he comes up to the skate barn. He gets there by 7 o'clock a.m. And he just goes up to the gate, enters his code, walks in, and he skates all the way until he's ready to leave. So every Saturday morning, I come up there, and most of the time, Eric is parked out front, and he's already skating, doing his thing. So it's kind of blending that key holder co-op mentality with the private skate park. And so we kind of feel like if you're willing to pay the membership, then you're probably a pretty reputable member of this community.
Yeah.
And most of, if not all of our members are kind of the core barn rats, and we know them. But we do have a timer on the lights. So at night, the lights go off at 10:30. So members can stay, the pro shop will close at 8 and the employee goes home at 8 o'clock, but they can stay up until 10:30. And then if they want to come early the next morning, they can get in. So just kind of, once again, just blending that and keeping it available to people and giving them a little bit of perks and incentives to try and come out.
That's really interesting. There's definitely a conversation there about the insurance on having unsupervised riders. We could do that another time.
Yes.
Um,
Well, look, I think we got cameras. We're always watching them.
yeah.
So any lawyers who are listening, we're always watching the cameras after hours. There's a diligent eye on there, I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with your talks and the demographics changing in where you live, that's definitely, I would say, it's probably a good thing. Those parents have more money to spend on core skaters.
Correct.
One of the other challenging things with running a skate park is that, like, how can you, this is going to sound like so like capitalist, but like, how do you capitalize on the parents with the money that wouldn't bat an eye at paying twice the price you're charging versus the skateboarders that they don't want to pay? For them, $15 is too much
Correct.
money. How do you weave that line? And post COVID for me, I've had my struggles, and I had to raise my prices from 15 to $20. I really, really, really didn't want to do. But when I did that, like, skate night is still $10. So it used to be a $5 off. Now it's actually $10 off. So
Right.
the core guys can still skate for $10. I also made my all day pricing only $5 more. So $25, you can skate for 10, 12 hours. But like, you're trying to weave that line. And even when I did that, I put out questionnaires. I put out polls. I emailed the poll. I had a question on my sign-in sheet. Like, I really tried to see how people felt about that. And I'm sure, it upset some people, and I lost some customers because they don't want to spend $20 to come ride. But like,
if you want it to be
yeah.
around, it ends up being a conversation though that you have to have, because you're like, hey man, I don't want you to pay $20 either. I'm literally only charging you this because if I don't, then the option for me to be here and the option for you to come here is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single skate park owner out there who is like, oh man, if I raise it to $20 a month, then I'm going to be rich and line my pockets. It's literally like, yeah, I'm only doing this because I'm forced to. And that's the whole reason we did the GoFundMe thing. It's like, none of us out here, the ones who are actually sustaining and like making a go at it, we all realize very quickly, it's like, this is not a money-making racket. You may look at it and be like, oh, dude, like, skate park, that's going to make $1 million. No, it's never going to make $1 million. So, like, you charging that $20, it's almost important to try and educate the community as best you can, which we've had to do at the same level, where it's like, we're only asking you this price because we have to. And if that's too much money for you, then we're no longer going to be a viable option for you. And we wouldn't ask this if we didn't have to. And so the skate barn almost closed. So in between ownership of the second owner and then Taylor, who previously just bought it, so there's been 3 total. There was a moment where the skate barn literally published that we were closing down, that it was no longer a viable option. Like, local news outlets picked it up, and it was all over saying the skate barn's closing, and the community was up in arms. You couldn't get on social media and within this area and this community for a week without having everybody chiming in. And people were disappointed, people were sad, people were pissed. Every gamut of the emotional spectrum was just on display. And there was a last session hosted by a local skate ministry, Good News Skate Night, and there was like 300 people there. And most people thought they were going to say goodbye to the barn. But at the end of the night, it was announced like it's saved. Like, someone actually came in and like bit the bullet and repurchased it. And that was spun around on those guys, everyone on social media, and being like, you know what? Everyone's been griping and complaining and saying how much they miss this place and how much it meant to them. Now it's time to put up or shut up. Every one of you guys was talking about how much it meant, and sad and crying and pissed and this and that. Well, guess what? You got a new lease on life. You better show up. You're going to sit there on social media and complain? Now that you actually know that the skate barn's not closing, now's your chance to put action behind those keyboard warrior words that you put out there. So we've had to actually, like, I think that scare really got into the heads of a lot of people. And we've had a good amount of support. And we're hanging on. but it was to the point for a couple of years where the barn was really struggling, literally almost had to shut down. But no, I hate that it has to be an emotional scare like that, but I think it kind of lit a fire underneath our local scene, and it's happening a little bit.
I've always run Breaking Free Skate Park very open source from the very beginning. I've put everything out there, partially just so people know, and partially for when other people want to open a park. If they email me, I'm like, hey, go look through my content. Like, it's all out there. All the numbers are there. I want people to know, And it's been really challenging. After COVID, I lost about 25% of my attendance, 25% of my traffic.
I just looked at that graph just before we got on the call.
Yeah.
I saw that post about your graph. That was, oof.
And it hasn't come back. And it speaks to the resilience I have as a business owner here. Not too many businesses can lose a quarter of their sales and manage to keep it going, but a lot of that expense has come from just me almost not taking pay. Just I brought home 12 grand last year. That's not really a sustainable amount of money. So
no.
And like I don't have a
laugh, and I only laugh because I feel you. I feel your pain. I'm like, I'm not. I get it.
Yeah, like it's at the point where a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, $60. I'm like, oh shit, like. Can I afford $60? It's that tight. Like, I got rid of my recycling dumpster, and now I separate it myself and bring it home to my house and put it in that recycling. Just like whatever, anywhere I could save $20, I've saved $20, and now the business is just so lean. There's nowhere else I can possibly cut any costs anywhere. And part of this whole thing is with the podcast and the social media content is just, can I find a way to make money doing this to help keep the skate park open?
That's it. And it's all about, I think educating the people is really important, because when they show up at the door and you tell them the price, if they don't understand why you're doing that and what you've done to try and avoid that, then it might be a shock value. But I really think it's so important for people to understand, if you want this to be a viable option, if you want to have this indoor spot that you can come when it's raining. For us, it's rain. For you, it's snow. We're one of the only places, if not the only public place that you can go when it's raining and go skate. If you want that to, even just that aspect of it, if you want that to remain an option, you got to come and support it even on the sunny days. And it's not because I'm trying to make a buck off of you, but this is the world we live in, and it's going to take a village to really rally behind everyone. So I think this podcast is great. I think just getting these honest conversations out there so people don't think you're trying to hoodwink them and take their money. No, I'm trying to keep the lights on so you can actually come back again next week. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
I mean, the people that come here, they know me. I'm the only one, right? If you come here, I'm here. If I'm not behind the counter, it's because I'm asking a personal favor from someone, and either someone in my family died, and there's not many left to die, or something really important came up, right? I got a grill outside the back door. You come in, I'm eating burgers I just grilled. I basically live here, I got a lot of friends that come in. They come, here's a 6-pack of beer or whatever. Or they show up hey, if I bring some sausages down to the park, you grill them today? Hell yeah, dude.
Yes. Please.
It's always about the family, about the community, about the play. As you said, and I said, it's keeping the dream alive. This isn't just this isn't my skate park. This is our skate park.
It's a clubhouse, but everyone has to pay club dues, because no one person can support the clubhouse and keep the lights on and pay the landlord. If you want to have a clubhouse to where we all can come and hang out, we all got to split utilities relatively equal. If you don't come, the clubhouse disappears. And the clubhouse is so important. And that's kind of how I look at the barn. And that's how the Breaking Free really feels to me too. It's the moment you step into it, you're literally just a kid again. And it's such a wonderful place, such a unique place that you're never going to recreate ever again. But people, we got to come out. We got to come out and support it. We got to pay club dues.
These places, you said earlier, these places really are, you don't know what you have until it's gone, right? you're like, I'm not gonna go there. It's this, it's that. It's not. I'll wait till it's not raining, and then when it's gone, it's like,
Then you have nothing.
you know. Buffalo went through that. Buffalo had a really cool skate park that closed years ago, and then for a very long time they didn't have one. And fortunately, they have one now.
What do you guys do in the wintertime if it's snowy and there's no skate park? Like, there's areas in upstate that don't have a skate park. What do skaters do? Snowboard, I guess?
Well, now there's one in Syracuse, one in Buffalo, one here, one in Ellicottville. So across the top of Western and Central New York is not too bad. If you're down in the southern tier of New York or northern PA, you got nothing. You got nothing.
Man.
I mean, there's snowboarding around here, like not big hills.
But you just don't skate.
No, yeah, there's there's like 2 parking garages in downtown you can skate. I'm sure Buffalo and Syracuse has it, but what's the park? It's not the same,
No.
$15 to ride this awesome mini ramp.
Right.
Or, sorry, $10 on skate night or a free parking garage. There's a lot of skateboarders that are just like, it seems like no matter what, they will not pay to ride. And it seems like there's a lot of skateboarders who like, I'm just not going to wear a helmet. And if you stack both of those together, there's, a decent percentage of them that they're just not going to come here,
Man, have you ever talked to Jason at Charm City in Baltimore?
I have not.
That's someone, you should reach out to him. So I lived in Baltimore for 3 years when I was working for the skate company that I was with. And we'd go to Charm a good amount. And it's like, that dude, salt of the earth, very good dude. You should reach out to Charm City Skate Park. I don't know what sparked my memory, but that would be a really good person to have on here.
I'm hoping to get everyone on. I'm hoping this show, like in addition to like all the other people I interview, I would love for this just to be that hub where like, hey, we're checking in this year on, whatever it is. I've reached out to many skate park owners, and it's crazy. Some of them don't even answer my DMs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, Charm City it has a very similar feel to kind of what you got going on. Big warehouse space, like just classic. I think he would be, and he's been doing it for a long time. And from the little bit of conversation that I've had with him and the little bit of personal relationship I built with him, like he would be a wealth of knowledge. And I bet you he would be willing to come on here. That's a good one.
Yeah, I definitely will reach out to him. It's just there's just so few parks.
So
it's just like
do you know how many private indoor skate parks there are in America right now? Is there a number?
I can't get an answer. I don't know. Everyone's best guess I've heard is somewhere between 15 and 30.
Wow.
I don't know. It could be more, it could be less. There are these, like, I didn't know about Skate Barn until you started commenting on my stuff, or whoever's running your account was. There's so many of these like smaller ones that are like more, they're not like regional. They're kind of like local little ones,
right?
That you just don't know about until you know about them. Like there's one in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania by Scranton. That's like skateboard only, very small. It's probably kind of similar like that. And I never even heard of it. I didn't know it existed until I was at a different indoor park that was very briefly opened in that same area. And like, oh, well, there's that one. I'm like, what one? So
interesting.
I think there's probably more than people realize, but they're like these weird small ones that you wouldn't even think of. As far as like what I have, like this old school big one, but I don't know. There might be 5 of them. I don't know. There's not a lot.
Did you ever hear of Concrete Disciples back in the day?
Yeah.
It would be awesome to have like a private indoor skate park disciples kind of website where it maps out all of the different private indoor parks in America and like just user submitted kind of stuff. Because I would be very curious to get a tally on.
I want to start a skate park consulting company. I obviously can't do it now because I'm running this skate park and it's really hard. But if things got better and I could hire someone and I could move on, or not move on, but if I could spend more time doing something else.
Not be behind the counter checking people in all day.
Or when the day comes that the skate park ends, I do want to create, probably a nonprofit organization that the whole goal is skate park consulting for both indoor and outdoor. Because a lot of the outdoor parks that we've gotten built around here have like these weird design flaws and like things where like, why did someone think this was a good idea? Sometimes it's like safety stuff. And then like the skate park project, which is formerly called the Tony Hawk Foundation. They've partnered with the Ralph Wilson Foundation, and they're the reason why all these skate parks have been built in Western New York, Rochester, the 2 in Rochester suburbs, the one in Medina, the one in Lockport, the one in Buffalo. I think it might be a seventh one. They're all got grants through the same program.
Gotcha.
But that organization is like staunchly anti-indoor, anti-pay to get in. So like they want nothing to do with that. So I think there is a not a huge demand, but there is a demand for some sort of network for people that want to open indoor skate parks where we could have like a wiki of all of our combined knowledge. There's probably some sweet spot for population density, how many riders you think you have in your area, and how many square footage you have that would triangulate into, well, you need to have about this much per square foot. But when you only have 10 skate parks in the whole country, you don't have a lot of data to work with.
Man, that would be such an interesting study to do. I would be fascinated to read, like check in on that. That would be cool.
Yeah. And then there could even be, some sort of collective bargaining possible when it comes to insurance. If we had some sort of organization where we're like, you're all umbrellaed under this bigger organization. Like there's a lot of opportunity to help these places.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Because that's its own conversation on its own. Like insurance and just all of those expenses. Like that's, we could talk a whole nother podcast about that. But yeah, since we're trying to support the community that supports us, it would be great at the level of like indoor skate park owners if we could rally as a community and support each other too.
Yeah, there is something we all could learn from every other one.
Absolutely.
It's been great talking to you, and it was great talking to John and Mike last week, and the other Mike from Woods Room. Everyone I've talked to recently, you guys have all said all of the right stuff. You said it, and I'm no expert. I've done this for a decade, but like I'm not like the be all. But like you guys have all said exactly what I want to hear other skate park owners say, and that's not always the case. There are other indoor skate parks that I see what they're doing, and I'm like, I don't know if that's really the right way to do it, or if that's really going to work long term. Or I'm watching some of them to see like if they end up pivoting a little bit once they realize that like different demographics.
I mean, in your head, it sounds so good. Like, open a skate park, everyone will come. It'll just make so much money. And that's not the facts. Like, anyone who gets into this game, it's got to be for pure love. Like, it's not ever, even if you're successful and money's not a quote unquote issue, you're still not going to be a millionaire.
No.
You're going to be doing this. It's a labor of love. And you're going to be building ramps, and you're going to be building dreams. And if you can keep that dream alive, like we're trying to keep Jimmy's dream alive, that's a win. That's worth more than $1 million in my book. So
I love it. I love the keeping the dream alive. I've been saying that for years. So thank you for keeping the dream alive, and thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Plug all your stuff one more time before we bring this one home.
So we are the Skate Barn. We're located in Hampstead, North Carolina, about 30 minutes north of Wilmington, North Carolina. We just recently started a GoFundMe. We're trying to revamp our street course and get that back up to snuff. You can find that link in our profile. We're at the Skate Barn. So yeah, check it out. If you feel led, please donate $1, $2. Anything helps. We're just here to try and facilitate skateboarding and create new skateboarders. And as we said already, keep Jimmy's dream alive. 28
years, coming on 29 years you've had that, or you've been a part of this.
96.
Yes. That is so incredible. You're part of something much larger than you. It's got to feel great.
And I have very little claim to very little of it. I'm beyond blessed to just be here doing my part at this time. There's been many individuals before me who have done many more things than me. And I just feel very fortunate to now be able to pay my dues and give back and see if we can't keep it rolling. So far, it's rolling, but we got to keep trying,
They passed you the torch, and you just got to do your best job carrying it.
That's it, man.
Keep that flame lit. Keep that dream alive.
That's it, man. And you too. I'm very, very impressed with everything you've got going on up there. And thank you for serving your local community. I'm going to message my buddy Jackson over in Syracuse and tell him he needs to come check you out if he hasn't already.
He's been here.
Eric's coming up next week.
Cool. Yeah, Jackson's been here for a bunch of our contests.
I figured.
I've known him and his brother since they were little.
Well,
Yeah,
O-Dog. That's
yeah.
the man.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Josh. And we'll get you back on
Please.
eventually. And just as I anticipate or hope to get all the skate park people back on, and we could just keep sharing all of our narratives, cross pollinating all of our customer bases. Let like that rising tide raise all ships. Let's all know what's going on with all of our parks and learn from each other.
Absolutely. I plan to stay in touch with you, but definitely
Awesome.
we'll get a 6-month check-in, and you guys can hear how the barn's doing, and we'll see what you're up to up there too.
Awesome. And maybe at some point I could get a trip going down there and check out
Yeah.
some parks and check out the skate barn.
Well, you can come skate for free. I got your entry anytime you want to come.
Yeah. I'll pay. I gladly pay everywhere I go because I always make everyone pay here.
Yeah,
That's,
got you. So if you
you're
ever find yourself in North Carolina, I got you.
yeah, I mean, you could buy me a beer or something, but I'll pay to ride.
Deal.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Nothing
Thank you
but
for
love.
everyone.
Thank you for all you're doing for skateboarding, BMX, for the whole community. Very much appreciated. I've been following you for a long time before I even reached out via
Awesome.
skateboarding. So, man, thank you for everything you're doing. You're killing it. I really hope that things start to stick on the wall. And, hey, if you're in the New York area, go check them out.
All right. And
Free. Support my man.
if you're in North Carolina, go to the skate barn.
We'll be there.
Thank you guys for listening, checking in, and blah blah blah. You know the deal. Like, subscribe, etc., etc. Thank you again, Josh, and
Yep.
we'll touch base again in a couple months.
Perfect. Much love. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Keep grinding, everybody.